Hey, it's Warren. I wanted to talk a little bit about right hand technique and some things you could do, sort of spice up your accompaniments for guitar or vocal kind of stuff. And and this one is kind of like how to think like a drummer and how you can maybe apply some of those ideas to the guitar. So I'm in drop D here, and I just like starting off here, just kind of, if we were to lay down a little 4/4 groove, just kind of like that. And like this is like Sheryl Crow's "Every Day Is a Winding Road." If we're just like I used to ride with a vending machine repairman. He said he's been down this road more than twice. So that's kind of a static kind of a feel, just pulse, 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 sort of a thing. And not a whole heck of a lot to grab a hold of there. You kind of like some more to grab a hold of. Now, if a drummer, if you're going to think like a drummer, sort of the idea here, a drummer's going to have a kick drum, they're going to have a snare, and the kick's a lot of times going to hit on 1 and 3, and the snare's going to hit in 2 and 4, so it'd be kind of like boom, bop, boom, bop, boom, bop. So if we could incorporate some of that into our groove, that might be good. So just do that by just hitting that low string, and then sort of a punch for the, kind of a snare hit. And that gives us a little something more to grab a hold of. Hitch to ride with a vending machine repairman. He said he's been down this road more than twice. So you got a little something to bounce off of there, kind of, and something to work against. So that sort of gets you part of the way there, but still, we'd like to have a little bit more going on there to kind of, be able to work against, and maybe a little more, say, underlying, maybe rhythmic sort of vibe or something like that. And for a drummer, that would happen with a hi-hat, typically. They're going to hit, this has kind of got a 16th note feel to it, so it's kind of a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a thing. So, if you had your kick drum going, 1, and then snare on 2 and 4, sort of bop, bop. And the hi-hat would probably be doing, that kind of a thing, right? So if we were going to get that happening on the guitar, we can do that with sort of an up-down, sort of a scrub across the string kind of a thing. I do it with my fingers. My index finger catches the downstroke and thumb catches the upstroke. But basically all we're doing is just this kind of a feel, which is chicka chicka, that kind of thing. So that actually kind of acts like your hi-hat in a way, and you can get some little rhythmic stuff happening there. So if I'm going to incorporate that in, it's going to be like. So that gives you a little bit more sort of things happening in the groove there to kind of grab a hold of. Now, along the same lines, a hi-hat, when a drummer's using that, they've got a closed hat, which gives them more of a tink, 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 tink kind of a thing. Or they can open that hat up and get it more of a ch, 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 ch. And so you can get a little bit of that happening too with some left-hand damping. So kind of, so. More apparent, like when I play the chorus in this song, I go to a D 7th chord, and then you can do a little more damping with that. You can, so you can get a little more damping, and every day is a winding road. Yeah, I get a little bit closer. Every day is a faded sign. Yeah. So that it gives you a little something more to kind of fill out your groove. Now, the last thing that I like to do is I like to go ahead and swing the groove a little bit. So instead of a straight 16th underlying thing, you know, where you're going 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a that kind of thing, you can swing that a little bit. So those each one of those little paired 16th notes, they kind of become a triplet. So triplet, and then you kind of drop out the middle one. So it's almost a swung kind of thing. So. With your vocal, you can grab a hold of those little nuances. Those, and that kind of drive the whole thing forward. Yeah, yeah. Every day is a winding road. Get a little bit closer. Yeah, every day is a faded sign. Sorry, Cheryl, I'm kind of pushing your song there, but anyway, that gives you sort of a nice, sort of, well, it's almost kind of a reggae thing in a way, you know, but I think it adds a lot of fun to the song. Now the next thing, or another thing to kind of think about would be kind of how you use some of those rhythmic features in terms of the context of the song. And let me switch gears a little bit. I'll go back to standard tuning and just kind of play a little bit of blues here. So this next little thing is the concept of 4-bar phrasing, and usually every 4th bar in music you've got an opportunity for some fills and some things to happen. And in blues it lays out pretty nice because you got 12 bars and it repeats every 12 bars. That breaks down into 4-bar segments. So for that, what you kind of get is this, I was just gonna do a little swing kind of a thing, like a ba ba, that kind of a thing. There's your 3rd bar coming up. The 4th bar, you're doing a little something different here. Then. Here's the 7th bar, 8, 9th bar, 10th bar, 11th bar. So, you're kind of laying low until you get to that 4th bar, and you can throw a little something in. And it works nice with, in the context of a song. Take something simple like Sweet Home Chicago. You be like, come on, baby, don't you want to go? Come on, baby, don't you want to go? So a little fiddle to the same old place, a sweet home Chicago. So each, you get the kind of working back and forth between the vocal and rhythmically what you're doing, and so hopefully that gives you a couple of ideas in terms of attacking a song. So. Thanks a lot. This is Warren. I'll see you next time.